The galaxy's toughest vet panicked until the human smiled. It's only a puppy. Dr. Zixthor had survived the plasma wars of Sector 7. He had treated a Vraxian battle beast with 3 functioning hearts while it thrashed against its restraints. He had once extracted a venomous spine from a Krellian deathworm without sedation. Across 12 star systems, his name was synonymous with courage and expertise in xenobiological medicine, but nothing, absolutely nothing, in his 4 decades of veterinary practice had prepared him for this moment. The creature before him defied every law of survival he understood. Its breathing was erratic, almost panicked. Its limbs flailed without coordination, and the sounds it made, high-pitched, desperate wails that seemed designed to trigger every predator instinct in a 100-parsec radius. Keep it away. Zixthor's scales flared bright orange with alarm as he pressed himself against the far wall of his clinic. His 6 eyes remained locked on the small, writhing being that the humans called a puppy. Neo, the human male, stood near the examination table with an expression of barely suppressed amusement. Beside him, Katniss held the creature gently in her arms, seemingly oblivious to the danger. "Dr. Zixthor, please," Katniss said, her voice carrying that peculiar human quality of forced patience. "She just needs her vaccinations." The appointment was scheduled weeks ago. The veterinarian's translator struggled with his rapid clicking. That thing is a biological anomaly. Look at it. Its body temperature suggests imminent system failure. Its vocalizations indicate severe distress, and its motor control is completely underdeveloped." Neo stepped forward, and Zixthor noticed, not for the first time, how unsettling human faces could be. They showed too much. This one's face was doing something the translator called smiling, which involved baring teeth. "A threat display, surely." "Doc," Neo said, "it's only a puppy. She's 8 weeks old." 8 weeks? Zixthor's voice climbed several octaves. "You brought an infant of your apex predator species to my clinic? An infant who cannot even walk properly?" Katniss exchanged a glance with Neo. She had learned, during her 3 years on the galactic station, that most species found human child-rearing practices somewhere between baffling and terrifying. "Dr. Zixthor," she began carefully, "I understand this is your first Earth canine patient. But I assure you this is completely normal puppy behavior. They're born quite helpless and develop over several months." "Helpless?" The Zitherian doctor's membrane flickered with disbelief. "Your species bonds with creatures during their most vulnerable developmental stage? When they cannot hunt, cannot defend themselves, cannot even regulate their own body temperature effectively?" "Well, yes," Neo said. "That's kind of the point." The puppy, a golden retriever that Katniss and Neo had named Luna, squirmed in Katniss's arms and let out another piercing whine. Zixthor flinched so violently he knocked over a tray of surgical instruments. "The distress calls," he hissed. "How can you stand them? Every creature within range must want to either flee or silence it." Katniss looked down at Luna, who was now trying to chew on her own paw with all the coordination of a drunk octopus. "We think it's cute." "Cute?" Zixthor's translator made a sound like it was having a seizure. "You find life-threatening vulnerability cute?" Neo walked closer to the examination table, his movements slow and deliberate. Zixthor had treated enough humans now to recognize this as their non-threatening approach. It never quite worked. Humans always seemed threatening with their binocular predator vision and their loo teeth and their unsettling endurance. "Look, Doc, I get it," Neo said. "Most species in the galaxy, your offspring are born ready to run or fly or swim away from danger. They're independent fast. But Earth was different. Humans evolved to have helpless babies, and dogs, wolves, they evolved alongside us. Their puppies are helpless too." "This is madness," Zixthor whispered. "Evolutionary madness." Katniss finally stepped closer to the table, adjusting her grip on Luna. "It's called altricial development. Our young require extended parental care, and in return we get something special. A deep bond, trust, loyalty. Luna here will grow up knowing we protected her when she was vulnerable. And she'll protect us in return." "Protect you?" Zixthor looked at the puppy who had managed to get her entire hind leg stuck in her mouth. "That thing?" "That thing will grow to about 30 kilograms, Neo said. She'll be able to run 40 kilometers per hour. Her bite force will be strong enough to crack bone, and more importantly, she'll be loyal enough to put herself between us and any threat without hesitation." Zixthor's scales shifted to a thoughtful purple. "You're saying This pathetic creature is an investment? We're saying she's family, Katniss corrected gently. Humans don't just raise our own children. We adopt creatures, care for them through their helpless stages, and form bonds that last lifetimes. The veterinarian slowly approached the table. Luna, sensing new movement, turned her oversized head and looked at him with eyes that hadn't quite learned to focus properly. She made a small yipping sound. Zixthor jumped back. It's attacking! She's saying hello, Neo said, laughing now. Come on, Doc, you've treated Vraxian battle beasts. Surely you can handle a puppy. Something in the human's tone struck a chord. Zixthor had prided himself on his courage, his ability to face any creature the galaxy threw at him. Was he really going to be defeated by something that couldn't even walk in a straight line? He extended one manipulator appendage slowly. Luna, with the attention span of a goldfish, immediately tried to bite it. Not aggressively. Her tiny teeth couldn't even pierce his scales. She was simply exploring. She's curious, Katniss explained. Puppies learn about the world by putting everything in their mouths. Inefficient, Zixthor muttered, but his scales had shifted to a calmer blue. And dangerous, maybe, Neo admitted. But it's also how they learn what's safe, what's food, what's friend. It's messy and chaotic, but it works. Zixthor ran his scanner over Luna, checking her vitals while she attempted to eat the scanning device. Everything came back normal. For a human-bonded canine, anyway. Heart rate elevated but healthy. Temperature within expected parameters for a mammal. Neural development on track. I'll administer the vaccines, he said finally. But I want it noted in my records that I did this under protest. Katniss smiled, a genuine human smile with less teeth than Neo's. Noted, Doctor. And thank you. As Zixthor prepared the injections, he found himself marveling at the absurdity of it all. Humans deliberately chose to care for helpless creatures, investing time and resources into beings that couldn't survive a day on their own. They found weakness endearing. They turned vulnerability into opportunity for connection. It was inefficient. It was illogical. It was such a human thing to do. Luna yelped when the needle pricked her, and both Katniss and Neo immediately moved to comfort her, their voices soft and soothing. The puppy's cries quieted almost instantly, replaced by contented whimpers as Katniss scratched behind her ears. Zixthor watched them, these strange humans with their even stranger practices. And for the first time since they'd walked into his clinic, he understood. Humans didn't just survive the galaxy. They had survived Earth, a death world where everything tried to kill you. And they'd done it by making allies of other creatures, by turning predators into partners, by finding strength in the bonds they forged during moments of weakness. It's only a puppy, Neo had said. But Zixthor now knew better. This wasn't only anything. This was humanity's secret weapon, their ability to take something vulnerable and turn it into something unbreakable. As the humans left with their puppy, Zixthor made a note in his files. Human bonding practices remain inexplicable but surprisingly effective. Request further study. And perhaps he thought he'd lower his rates for puppies. Just a little. After all, the galaxy's toughest vet couldn't let a little thing like a helpless infant predator scare him, even if it absolutely had.